Hey everybody, welcome back to practice. My name's Ellie Cooper and I am a yoga teacher from Christchurch, New Zealand. Now today I'm really excited to share with you guys a yoga practice that is hopefully going to make your pigeon A little bit stronger, and B, hopefully you have a little bit more space and a bit more room. So we're going to play with elements of strength and flexibility to help us hopefully find a few decent moments that we can really soften and relax into our pigeon pose. So when you're ready, you are going to need 2 blocks today, or block-like things. And then you're also going to need a blanket or a beach towel or a towel, just something that you have a little bit of space for underneath your hips when you do get into pigeon. So it doesn't have to be necessarily anything fancy, but if you've got a yoga blanket, great. Just something within that vicinity. So 1 blanket and 2 block-like shapes. Could be books. All right, now when you're ready and you've gathered all of your things and your props, make your way back to your mat and join me in towards a comfortable seat. Now, honestly, I'm not really too bothered with what seat you choose. It's just whatever seat's a good seat. And once you've found that, we're gonna give ourselves space to really arrive. So from here, allow your hands to land heavy in towards your lap. Give yourself a moment to maybe close the eyes or soften the gaze down towards the ground. Start to feel yourself grow a little bit taller, reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And then gently feel your shoulders melt down the spine. And from here, we give ourselves the opportunity to soften through our lower belly. And we start to make that connection in towards our breath. Breathing in to feel our belly rise. And breathing out to feel our belly fall. Breathing in, belly rises. And exhaling, the belly falls. Another deep breath in towards the lower belly. And another deep breath out to feel the body soften as you make your energetic arrival into your practice and onto your mat. We'll find 3 more deep breaths here to invite ourselves to be in our practice, to slow things down. One more deep breath in. And 1 more deep breath out. And when you're ready, gently blink your eyes back open and welcome back to your practice. All right, when you're ready from here, we're gonna make our way on towards our seat. So from here, we're gonna find ourselves in towards Sukhasana. So Sukhasana is the legs crossed. Now, you can sometimes think about Sukhasana as crisscross applesauce. So your legs are really tight in this little kind of shin box. But from here, we're gonna widen the legs apart so you have a little bit more space and a bit more room. Now, from here, if it feels good, you can take the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. I know for some people that doesn't feel so good. So you could grab a blanket and just place it underneath your seat if you'd like as well. But when you're ready from here, we're gonna take our hands towards the front of our shins and our knees. And then on your next breath in, pull your shoulders back as you lift your sternum up and forward. And then on the next breath out, start to round through your upper back. Start to feel your chin draw in towards your chest. So you could create almost like a circular space with your spine. Breathing in to pull your chest up and forward. And breathing out to gently round through the upper back, dropping the chin to chest. Inhaling to feel your chest pull up and forward. Exhaling to feel the back round as you lean your way towards the back of the room. 1 more time here. Breathe in, pull your chest up and forward. Use a bit of grip through the hands. And exhale, round through the upper back. Feel yourself pause here. Now from here, can you feel your shoulder blades spread apart? And can you find a little rock side to side on your sit bones? Feeling a little bit more spaciousness in towards the thoracic spine or your upper back. Finding another deep breath into sway in space. And another deep breath out to continue the sway. On your next breath in, pull yourself back up and towards a neutral spine. And then on your next breath out, start to circulate your chest up and over your shins. We're gonna make big circles here with our bodies and our seat. So finding space just to find a little bit of movement through the spine. Gently starting to introduce a little bit of movement in towards the hips as we find big old circles here. You could even think about this movement being a little bit more animalistic, finding that real connection into your body, into your breath, or at least starting to make that journey in towards that connection now. So maybe you notice here as you circle and as you change it up into the other direction, the other way, maybe you can start to notice any creaks, any cracks, any dust you need to start to think about maybe moving out or cleaning out. Another breath in and out to sway in your seat. And then when you're ready, come back through a neutral spine. Now from your neutral spine here, you're gonna take your opposite shin, you're gonna place it out in front of you, just so we have a little bit of more evenness through the pelvis. And then when you're ready from here, you're gonna breathe in to reach your arms up high to the sky. On your breath out, we'll cactus the elbows as we pull the shoulder blades down our back, feeling a little bit more broadness through the collarbones. Inhale here, hands reach up high to the sky. And exhale from here, pull the elbows down as you find opening up into the collarbones. One more time, inhale, reach up. And exhale, cactus as you feel an opening. On your next breath in, take your right hand over towards your left knee. Left hand will drop back behind you. Find a little bit more lift up and out of your seat so the crown of the head reaches towards the sky. And then gently, kindly take the gaze up and over the shoulder as you make your way in towards a gentle twist. Not the biggest twist of the day, but just a moment just to feel a little bit of movement here up and towards your abdomen. And then gently, kindly unravel and take your way over to the other side. Left hand catches right knee, right hand pops back behind you. Inhaling to feel yourself grow tall. And then on the exhale, gently pivot your way towards the back of the room, maybe even sending your gaze over the right shoulder. Again, another breath in here. And another soft breath out. Inhale to take your way back up and through the center. Now from here, you're gonna find a little roll over on towards the front of your shins. We're gonna make our way in towards a tabletop shape. So hands will be underneath our shoulders, knees will be underneath our hips. And from here, we're just gonna find a little bump side to side with the shoulders and the hips. A moment here just to feel in towards our bodies. A moment here just to kind of start to feel the hands in towards the mat. Maybe starting to make a few circles here with the chest up and over the wrists. That can always feel really, really nice. Take a couple more sways up and around. And then when you're ready, find pause back through center. Now, although we won't be spending heaps of times on the wrist today, it's still really important that we hydrate through this joint. So when you're ready, wing your fingertips to the outer edges of your mat. On your next breath in, take the chest and circle it up and over the front of the wrists as you drop your hips back towards the heels. Allowing yourself to circle through, giving yourself a moment just to bear a little bit of weight and take care of our all-important wrists. We spend so much time on phones, on laptops. I say this all the time, but honestly, we just don't get enough love into the wrist joint. So give yourself another couple of breaths here just to circulate up in space. Make the big movement as big as you can. Good work. And then when you're ready from here, take a pause through center, wing your fingertips back towards the front of your mat. From here, we're gonna come on towards the backs of the heels. So tuck your toes under, walk your fingertips in towards you. Now from here, we're gonna take our hands all the way up towards our thighs. If this is already a little bit too much for you, that's okay. At any point in time, you're always more than welcome to untuck the toes and to come onto your seat. But to get a little bit of a stretch underfoot, I'm gonna stay on my toes. I'm gonna slide out my pinky toe from underneath because sometimes it likes to get caught up for some reason. And then from here, I'm gonna interlace my hands behind my back. As you find your next breath in, roll the shoulders back. And on your breath out, roll the shoulder blades down your spine as you chase the knuckles down towards the mat. Take a big breath in towards the collarbones. And a big breath out to soften. On your next breath in, take your fist and take it over towards your right hip. Pull your right elbow back in space and drop your chin in towards your chest. From here, drop your right ear over to your right shoulder as you keep pulling the right elbow in, and then gently start to nod the head up and down, yes. So starting to get in towards the side of the neck. A moment here just to feel into a good stretch. Another breath in, and another breath out. On your next breath in from here, roll the shoulder back up and through center. Take the hands towards the small of your back once again. Breath in to roll the shoulders up to the cheekbones, and exhale to roll them down your spine as you chase the knuckles down towards the mat. Another breath in towards the collarbones. And another breath out to sink in. Your next breath in, take the fist over towards the left hip, pull your left elbow in. Drop your chin in towards your chest once again and knock the left ear over to your left shoulder. Gently nod your head up and down as you keep hugging the left elbow in towards midline. Another breath here to find a bit of stretch to the right side of the neck. And then when you're ready, drop the chin back in towards your chest. Allow the head to come back upright. And let's get up and off those feet. Hands come back underneath your shoulders. Pitter patter out through the bottoms of your feet. Nice work. All right, from here, we are gonna get started today and towards our downward facing dog. So ground down through your palms, tuck your toes under, lift the hips up high to the sky. Once you're here, give yourself a moment just to arrive in your down dog. Maybe you find a little bit of a pedaling out here through the backs of the legs. Maybe you bend through one knee as you straighten through the opposite leg. Maybe you find stillness. Honestly, it's whatever feels good here for you today. It's just a moment to stretch out, A moment to land. A couple of breaths here just to find a little bit of movement. Feeling the mat underneath our palms and feeling this connectedness and towards our practice. Connection to ground, connection to breath, connection to body. On your next breath out, find space to pause, to stay, to send your chest back towards your thighs, to keep pushing the hands in towards your mat as you move your shoulders up towards your cheekbones. Keep sinking the heels heavy down towards the ground and pause here for another deep breath in and another breath out. When you're ready from here, lift your left leg up high to the sky. And then from here, move your left heel over to your right glute. So you're finding a little bit of an opening here through the front of the hip. Keep pushing the palms in towards your mat and make small circles here with your left knee over towards the left side of the room. So just trying to find a little bit of extra hydration here through the hip joint that we'll need later. Find another big circle. And then when you're ready, pause. Left heel moves back over towards the right glute. And then on your next breath in, curl your left knee up and towards your chest. Shift your shoulders over your wrists as you arc your upper back like cat. Step your left foot outside wide to the outside of the left hand and drop your back knee down. Now, when you're here, we're going to find a little bit of bump north and south with our hips. Just going to start to gently move your way up and down the mat. Giving yourself a moment here just to start to get into the hips. To notice if there's anything that's showing up in your practice. Again, making that mindful connection here to your body. How do I feel? What do I need? These little constant check-ins throughout the practice so we can honor where we're at. Give yourself another sway up and down. And then when you're ready, sway back up and forward and sink your hips down and towards the mat. Allow your left knee to chase over the big toe so you're also challenging your ankle dorsiflexion. And then lift the sternum up and forward so you're nice and proud through your chest. Tuck your back toes under, lift and hover off the back knee, and then hug through your outer hips. Now from here, if it's helpful, grab your blocks, place them underneath your hands to give you a bit of extra elevation and height. And then from here, we find that little sway north and south once again, bumping our way up and down the mat. But this time here, the movement comes from the ball of the back foot. So you're allowing yourself to pivot north and south, but the movement is coming from the foot as opposed to your hips. And find another breath in and out here to sway. And then when you're ready, find pause. Find a little bit more lift up through the back knee. Right hand stays grounded as the left arm picks up, sending your way in towards a little twist. We're going to pause here for a moment to pull the shoulders back, to grow long fingertip to fingertip, to hug the outer hips in, and to give ourselves space to stay, to breathe, to maybe feel a little bit more connected, maybe even sending the left side of the rib cage up towards the sky, to pivot and open and rotate through the chest just a wee bit more. And then exhale, left hand returns back down towards the ground or to your block. Right knee drops back down towards the earth. Walk your block so your hands back in towards you. So we come into half Hanuman. Left toes pull back towards your face. And then from here, we stay. We hug that left hip back behind us as we stay lifted and tall through the front of the chest. Find another breath in and another breath out. Good work. On your next breath in, walk it back forward to the front of your mat, returning back to your low lunge. Tuck your back toes under once again and hover off the back knee. Send your hips back in space so we come into pyramid. Now from pyramid here, you could stay on the setting on your blocks if you have them underneath your hands. You could also bump them all the way up so you have a little bit more lift up and out of your hips. Again, same principle as half Hanuman. Pull your left hip back. Keep reaching up and forward with your chest and the crown of your head. Sink your right heel down towards the ground. And again, another breath in. And another breath out. Good work. Now from here we stay, but this time we fold in. So we round through our upper back. We drop the chin back in towards the chest. And from here we find a couple of breaths. Keep hugging your left hip back behind you. See what it's like to print the left foot in towards the mat. And then next breath in, send the gaze up and forward. If your hair gets in the way, that's all good. Bend through the left knee. And then when you're ready from here, drop the back knee back down towards your mat. Take your blocks off to the side just for a moment. And then when you're ready from here, hands back underneath your shoulders. Scoop the left leg back behind you so you're back in towards your tabletop. We breathe in towards a cow leg shape. And we breathe out to find cat, pushing the mat away as we round through our upper back. Inhale back and towards cow. Exhale, bump your way back into cat. Inhale, make your way back in towards cow. Exhale, last time, push down and away as you make your way back into cat. Inhale back in towards a neutral spine. And then exhale from here, toes tuck under, back to downward facing dog we go. Keep pushing the mat away. Keep dropping your heels down towards the ground. If they touch, it doesn't really matter, honestly. It really doesn't. It's just trying to find a little bit extra length here through the backs of the legs. So again, keep moving your shoulder blades up towards your ears. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Take a breath in and out to feel solid, to feel connected, to maybe notice left to right, what's different, what's the same. And then on your next breath in, lift the right leg up high to the sky. Take your right heel over to your left glute as again you find that little opening. Find the hip circles here as you circle your knee up and around towards the right side of the room. Trying to make the movement a little bit more exaggerated. Trying to really get in towards the hip joint. One more breath here to circulate in space. And then your next breath in, pause, right heel moves over to left glute once again. And then right knee moves up and towards your chest. Start to shift your shoulders over your wrists as you keep the thigh glued towards your sternum. And then when you're ready, right foot steps outside wide to the outside of the right hand and the back knee drops down. Again, from here, we make those little bumps north and south, getting in towards the hips, moving our way up and down the mat, shifting, connecting, noticing your breath. Noticing how things are showing up as your body as you're starting to really get in towards the practice and starting to feel warm. Another breath here to sway in space. And on your next breath in, lunge forward. Find a bit more depth here. Right knee chases over the big toe as the sternum reaches out and forward. Again, we pause for a breath in and a breath out. And again, if it's helpful here, you can grab your blocks. You can place them underneath your hands if it's helpful. And then from here, when you're ready, spike your back toes under, lift and hover your back knee up and off the mat. Left hand stays where it is as the right arm peels up towards the sky. Again, from here, hug your outer glutes together, lift up and off the back knee. So you have a little bit of strength here through the back line of the left leg. Think open and spacious through your collarbones as you keep reaching your right hand up. Maybe once again, you bump the right side of your rib cage up towards the sky as you peel and rotate open through the right collarbone. Again, we spend another breath in and out here to pause. And then on your next breath in, right hand returns back down towards the block. Drop your back knee down. Walk your blocks back in towards you to half Hanuman. Right leg goes long, right toes plug in towards you. Again, collarbones stay proud as we keep hugging our right hip to the back of the room. We pause here for a breath in and out once again, just to stay, to be in it. And then we walk our blocks back forward towards the front of our mat. From here, tuck your back toes under, lift and hover off the back knee one more time, and then shift your hips to the back of the room. Right leg goes long as we find ourselves in towards our pyramid. Keep your sternum lifting up and forward. Keep pushing your right footprint into the mat so the right leg is long, and then hug that right hip back behind you. Again, we stay here. You can even bump up the blocks to a higher setting to give you a bit more lift. And then from here, when you're ready, gently start to allow yourself to bow down towards the ground. And give ourselves a moment of breath. Connecting into the sensations that are showing up and that are present. Noticing what that's doing to our mind. And then when you're ready, take the gaze up, back, and forward to the front of the mat. From here, drop your back knee back down, bump your blocks off to the side. From here, hands back underneath your shoulders, right knee steps back in line with the left. From here, we find our way back through that traditional cat and cow. Breathing in to tip the hips as you lift the heart up and forward. Exhaling to ground down through your palms, arcing the upper back up to the sky. Inhale, tip the hips, lift the heart up and forward. Exhale, back into cat as you round through your spine. One more time, inhale, back through cow. Exhale, ground down, arc up and away for cat. Inhale, back through a neutral spine. On your next exhale, toes tuck under, push down through your palms, lift the hips up high to the sky, back to down dog we go. A breath in and out just to recalibrate, to recenter, to reconnect. And noticing here today too, if your brain is kind of feeling a bit chitty-vritty, so your thoughts are all over the show, that's okay. And it's just important to acknowledge, not to judge. But if that's you today, can you give yourself a moment just to let that go of judgment, of your to-do list, of anything that's calling your attention up and off the mat? And can you use your breath here today to really connect back into where you are in your body on this little rectangular piece of rubber? You are here. You are now. Everything else can wait. Take one more deep breath in through your nose. And one more open breath out. Sigh everything and let go. When you're ready from here, right foot's going to step towards the center of your mat. Hug your left knee in towards your chest and cross your left ankle over your right knee. So we're in like a down dog figure 4. From here, keep pushing the mat away. And then from here, start to roll your left thigh over towards the left edge of your mat. So you feel a little bit more openness here to the front of the hip. Take a breath in and a breath out. On your next breath in, take this left shin and we're going to move it up towards the backs of our wrists. Drop your back knee down, and from here, come onto your sit bones. We're going to make our way in towards our 90-90 or kind of deer-like shape. So left shin's going to be parallel-ish to the front of the mat, and the right shin's going to be parallel-ish to the side of your mat. Now from here, you're going to discern if this is a good place for you to be. We want to focus in on the front hip here, so you could always walk this back ankle closer in towards you. If you feel like your back glute is really lifted up and off the mat, you could also take your blanket and plug it underneath you so you have a little bit more evenness and towards your hips and your pelvis. Now, once you get set up, we want to move the thigh bones so they're sticking straight out of their hip sockets. And then from here, we're going to find a little bit of space to flow. Allow your fingertips to frame your front shin. And then when you're ready, tip your tailbone towards the sky, reach your sternum out and forward. Allow yourself to bow down over this front shin. Now, when you've hit kind of that bow, push down, lift up and rise. Find a little hug in through your low belly as you twist over towards the back leg. Right hand drops back behind you, left hand catches the left thigh. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale from here, keep that low belly hugged in as you unwind your spine back towards the left thigh. Fingertips reframe, and then you bow down and forward. Inhale, push down, lift up and rise. Hug the low belly in as you twist your way towards the back thigh. Inhale, come back up and forward. Exhale, bow down. Inhale, push down, lift up and rise. Exhale, twist to the back of the room. Inhale, come up and forward. Exhale, you bow. Inhale, push down, lift up and rise. Last time, exhale, twist your way to the back of the room. Inhale, come back up and forward. From here, we bow down one last time, but we stay. So we come all the way down to forearms. Maybe we use our block. Maybe you place your forearms to block. Maybe you place it underneath your head. Or maybe you're just okay where you are with your forearms resting to the mat. That's great too. But wherever you are, just give yourself a moment to arrive, to feel into your hips, to just notice. Maybe you close your eyes to help you do so, of where the stretch is showing up in your body. Is it down through the left glute? Can you feel it somewhere else? Again, making that connection to yourself and your mat. How is the practice showing up for you today? Is it a reflection of the day that was, the week that was? Are you a parent? Are you lugging a little hefty toddler around? All these things show up in our practice in different ways. They're not good, they're not bad, but it's just important to discern that each day is different than another. So some days we show up and we feel ready to go, and other days it just feels hard to get through. So just acknowledge if that's you, how your practice is living in you right now. And again, can you come back to your breath? Can you make that mindful connection to the inhale and exhale as you allow yourself to settle in and stay for another 3 deep breaths in and out? On your next inhale, come back up towards your hands. Gently lift your way back up and out. Now from here, hands are going to plant out in front of you. And you're going to find a little roll over this front shin. Tuck your back toes under, lift your left thigh to your chest, and step your way back in towards downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment just to shake it out through the legs, getting a little bit of fresh blood flow back in towards the tissues. Maybe you can feel maybe a bit more space, a bit more room for the left side. That's great. And if you can't, that's fine too. When you're ready, pause once again, and we're going to work our way in towards the right side. Left knee hugs in towards your chest, right ankle crosses up and over your left thigh, and then right thigh rolls over towards the right side of your mat. Keep pushing the ground away as you keep moving your hips back in space. Hold here for 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, bump this right shin up and forward to the backs of your wrists or thereabout, and then the back leg down. Come onto your right glute and set up for your 1990. Left shin goes parallel to the side of your mat. Right shin comes up towards parallel-ish to the front of your mat. Again, pick what feels good here for your legs. Maybe the back heel bumps in. Maybe you grab your blanket for this side to wedge it underneath your glutes so you have a bit of extra elevation and height. And then when you're ready, again, take your fingertips towards the front shin, reframe. Tip your hips back behind you as you lift your sternum out to the front of your mat. And then when you're ready, find that little bow down over the front shin. Push down and towards the ground to lift up and rise. Find a little hug in through the low belly and find a twist towards the back leg. Right hand tries to chase over to the left ankle, but it won't actually reach. Keep that hug in through the low belly as you twist your way back around towards the front of your mat, and then bow one more time. Inhale, push down and towards the mat, lift up and rise. Hug in, twist towards the back leg. Come back forward, up and around, and then find the fold one more time. Actually, I lied to you, that's 3 more times. Push down, lift up and rise. Twist your way to the back of the mat, keep the low belly in. Unwind your spine, come back, up and forward, and bow. Inhale, push down, lift up and rise. Exhale, hug in as you twist. One more time, unwind your spine back up and forward and bow. Push down, lift up and rise. Twist your way to the back leg. And when you're ready, come back up and forward. We find that final bow up and over the front of the shin. So allow yourself to come down to the degree that feels helpful and good. Coming onto forearms, to your block, whatever support you need here so you can settle in. Feel your hips heavy. Allow yourself to drop back into those deep breaths. It can be really helpful here to allow your belly to soften so you can make that connection to the big inhale and exhale through the belly. Allowing yourself to get lost in your breath, to really focus in and concentrate as you allow your body to soften and you allow your breath to tiptoe you into more space. 3 more deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, gently find that rise back up towards a straight spine. And then from here, we're going to simply take our legs out long in front of us. So give them a well-deserved little shake, little wiggle, little jiggle. Nice work. All right, now from here, we're going to get in towards one last little stretch before we make our way into pigeon. So from here, you have a couple of bus stops along the way if something's not quite feeling right. Now, and what I mean by that is we all have a different square one in our practice. So we are starting from a different place. Life shows up that way. Again, if you've got kids, maybe you did sport, maybe things are feeling a little bit extra tight and stiff, stop where you need to stop and where honors your body, because if you don't stop there and you keep pushing forward into spaces and realms that maybe aren't necessarily super helpful for you, that's kind of where the messiness, the ickiness kind of arises. So what I mean by that is just back off. Find your step 1, be humble, and allow yourself to exist there. So that being said, step 1, walk your left foot close in towards you, interlace the hands around the front of the shin. Now, if this is good for you here today, please stay. If you'd like a little more, we're gonna cross this left ankle up and over the right thigh. Now from here, this could be you today with the left hand on the left thigh, drawing the left thigh down towards the mat. That's great. Pause. If you want more than this, take your hands back behind you. Walk your right foot closer in towards you. Now, the degree that you walk the foot is completely up to you, but the closer you walk it in, the more stretch you're gonna get for the left hip. So be discerning, figure out what feels good. And once you're in that space, we're gonna stay here for 5 deep breaths. So again, you could stay here, you could linger. As the breath progresses, you could continue to walk the right foot in, whatever feels good for your body. You've got about another 4 deep breaths just to sink in. How can you feel that connection? How can you allow the breath to move in and out of you? How does it show up? One more deep breath here. And then when you're ready, we're going to keep the right foot where it is if you have it walked in. If it's not, that's okay. We're going to tip over to the right foot. So left foot's going to land down to the ground. Now this can look just the same with the right leg out long in front of you. Fingertips can stay behind you, or if it feels good, your left hand can come towards the front of the shin so you get nice and tall up and out of your spine. Now from here we could stay, or we could also make our way in towards a little twist. Right hand coming towards the front shin or the outer left knee, or forearm hooks around the left leg. Settling both hip bones down towards the mat, left hand back behind you. Big breath in as you grow tall through the crown of the head if you're coming into your twist. And exhaling to gently take the gaze over the left shoulder. From here, 3 deep breaths, so not too long, just a little moment to pause. And then gently unwind your spine back towards the front of your mat. From here, both hands come back behind you if you're in your twist. Come over to both sit bones as you lift your way back and towards that little kind of figure 4 shape. So the right foot is planted. If the right leg's long, that's all good. Just tip back over. And then when you're ready from here, if the right foot's in, slowly creep the right foot back out. So we're all in this kind of like seated figure 4, and then unwind the left leg. Give yourself a moment, shake it out through the legs, and we're gonna head over to the other side. So again, square 1, right foot steps in. If this is enough for you, please stay. If you'd like more, right ankle crosses over the left thigh. Again, you could hang out here. This could be good. Just a little reminder, right hand to right thigh as you gently roll the right thigh down towards the mat with your right hand. Other option, hands drop back behind you, left foot walks in towards your left glute, and then you decide the angle of the foot walking in towards you. And then from here, once again, 5 deep breaths. Allow yourself that opportunity to connect. And I know for me, when I feel connected, I feel really centered in my breath. I can start to tune into the little sensations in my body. The things that are usually minute all of a sudden start to grow a little louder as my focus and my breath drops. So give yourself that opportunity to stay, to get quiet, so you can connect in and listen. One more deep breath here. And then we're going to take that little drop over towards the left. So roll onto the left hip, right foot drops down towards the mat. Maybe the left heel bumps in a little bit closer towards you. And then when you're ready, you can lift your way up. If this is good, please stay. Again, if you'd like more, find the twist. Left forearm connects to the right thigh or the left hand. And then right hand drops back behind you to the mat. Settle onto both sit bones. Breathe in, grow tall through the crown of the head. Breathe out to send your gaze over the left shoulder, right shoulder. 3 deep breaths here. And then when you're ready, gently unwind your spine back up and forward. Take your hands back behind you. Come back over to your sit bones. Come back to that seated figure 4. And then when you're ready, walk the left leg out long. Unwind the right foot from the left thigh. Wiggle your legs out. Alrighty, now from here, we're gonna work our way into pigeon. So swing your legs out towards the side of your mat. Allow yourself to come back in towards your tabletop. Now this one's just gonna take a moment to set up. So grab your blocks, place them towards the front edge of your mat. You want the blocks here so you have something to really push into. Also just gives you a little bit of extra elevation and height. Now from here, you're gonna grab that blanket and you're gonna place it just in front of your knees, and this is where our hips are gonna land. Now, I want you to acknowledge here as well, if this isn't a high enough kind of seat here for you, you can always grab more blankets or a pillow or a cushion, a bolster, whatever you have handy, but I want them underneath your 2 sit bones. So what that looks like is you're going to take your hands out in front of you. You're going to draw your left knee up and close towards your chest. You're going to move your left knee to the back of the left wrist. Now from here, we're going to try and line this left shin up towards the top edge of our mat. So you may want to bump that shin up and forward. And then once you're here, again, you want that blanket underneath your hip bones. So you could find a little bit of extra elevation, a little bit of extra height. But when you are ready, we're going to come up high. So this is where the blocks come into handy. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to not with the puns. Anyways, hands to blocks. Now from here, this front heel can be walked in as closest to your groin as you need to. It really doesn't matter. What we're focusing on is the hip and not the knee. So that being said, get set up, hands to blocks. Give yourself space to get nice and tall up and out of your seat. Back toes tuck under. Now from here, your outer hips are going to hug in towards each other so you find a little light up through your glutes. Lift up and off the back knee as you drive your front shin down and towards the mat. Hug here, pause and stay for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the back knee down. Pause here, allow your hips to sink. And then push down through the front shin. Hug your glutes as you lift off the back knee. Hold here, pause, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it back down. One more time. Squeeze and lift. Drive down through the hands, the shin to the mat for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it back down. This time we stay. We untuck our toes. We allow ourselves to drop down towards our forearms. Maybe you hang your head heavy. Maybe your forearms are onto blocks. Maybe you bump them off to the side if you've got a bit more space, a bit more room. Maybe you sit your left hip bone down towards the mat. Maybe the forehead drops down to the block. Whatever feels good here for you and your setup. But wherever you are, can you roll a little bit more weight on towards your right leg so it's not all centered on the left? This is going to create a little bit more evenness once again through your hips. So you have an even distribution of weight between left and right. Now from here we pause, we hang out, we relish in the stillness as best we can. But if it is really hard for you today, I want you to slow your breath down. I want you to breathe in for an inhale of 5 and an exhale for 6 or 7. If that's really hard, just find an inhale count that is shorter than the exhale count. The exhale count, the longer extended exhale, is going to send that message to our nervous system that it's okay and it's safe to be here. Because pigeon, let's be honest, can be really sensation-y and hard to hold. So that's okay. If it's painful, obviously come up and out. But if you can stay and you can breathe, good news, you've been here for a while and you only have 5 deep breaths left. So once again, connect in. Allow your belly to relax. Allow yourself to soften in. Inhale to breathe in that tension. Exhale to soften and let it go. Longer exhale out. One more deep breath in. And last deep breath out. Gently, kindly come back up towards your palms. Allow yourself to rise. Sit over onto the left sit bone and then unwind the right leg up and around in front of you. Oh man, maybe you use the assistance of your hand underneath your knee to help you. And then just give yourself a moment just to shake it out through the legs. A moment here just to find a little bit of release. And then when you're ready, we're going to make our way over to the other side. So come back onto all fours. Unfortunately, there's no fancy way to get there. It just kind of is what it is. But hands are going to go on top of your blocks once again. So get those set up before you really get into it. Hands underneath shoulders. Again, the blanket in front of your knees. Now from here, once again, right knee hugs in towards your belly. Right shin lands towards the front of your mat or thereabouts. Right heel stays bumped in as much as you need. And then again, just take a moment, adjust your blanket or whatever is underneath your hip bones to give you that evenness in your pelvis so you can feel like you can land and you're supported here. And then when you're ready, take your hands to your blocks, tuck your back toes under. Find the drive down of the front shin as you hug your glutes together and lift up and off the back knee. Drive down and towards the ground for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Settle it back down. A moment to pause. And then push down, lift up and rise. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Settle it back down. One more time. Squeeze the outer hips, lift off the back knee, push down and towards your blocks for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest down. Untuck the back toes if that feels good. You could stay high. Again, find the elevation here for you that feels the most supportive for your body. Blocks, no blocks, whatever is good is good. And again, we sink into the side. We allow ourselves to roll a little bit more on towards the left hip. So again, you have that even distribution of weight between left and right. And again, we come back to that breath. The slower exhale, that moment to really sink into it, to give yourself a moment to breathe everything in, and the exhale to allow your belly to soften. You give yourself permission here to be here, to be in the thick of it if it feels hard. But just remember, you can do hard things. As long as this is helpful for your body, you feel a sense of unwinding. You feel a sense of centeredness, even through the heart, because that's always there. That's always within you. There's always that connection. There's always our breath, our ability to stay centered in the fire, our ability to be in our body, clear mind, as we connect into ourselves. Again, you're here for another 5 deep breaths. And when you're ready, gently blink the eyes back open. Lift your way back up and out. Just come over towards the right sit bone. Swing the left leg out in front of you. Bump your blocks off to the side. Unwind both legs front and forward. And then once again, just shake it out, wiggle it out. Good work, guys. All right, from here, we're going to find a little bit of space to reground, to recenter before we move on with the rest of our day. So we just have a couple of poses left before we wind up this little practice. So when you're ready from here, we're going to make our way in towards a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. I'm going to use that blanket. I'm going to move it to the back of my mat so I can have like a little pillow. So grab your blanket, move it backwards to wherever your head's going to land. And then from here, we're going to set up for a supported Supta Baddha Konasana. You're going to bring the soles of the feet together. The knees will splay out wide. Now from here, this could be really nice to reintroduce your blocks. Placing them underneath your knees for a little bit of extra support. Now, once you recline down, adjust the level of support that you need here for your body. So when you're ready, recline all the way back down towards your blanket, on towards your spine. Again, keep the soles of the feet connected, the knees out wide. Now from here, you could have the knees resting on top of the blocks on the mid setting, the highest setting, or the lowest. It's up to you, whatever your body needs. But from here, we want to lean into support. So I encourage you to use blocks, blankets, whatever you can underneath your thighs to give you a little bit of extra support here. There's nothing else we need to do. We've stretched, we've strengthened enough today. So give yourself that space just to really melt in, to maybe connect hands to body, to belly, to chest. To start to drop back into those deep inhales and exhales. To give yourself a moment to maybe notice if the connection to self has grown as you've practiced. Is it easier to drop back into your breath? Is it easier to soften the body in towards the support of the mat and the blocks beneath you? Maybe it's just a sense of peace within. A sense of feeling grounded. Again, a sense of just being here. Sometimes that's all connection needs to be. Is where am I in the present moment? How is this connecting to me, my well-being? Again, we have another 5 deep breaths here to allow ourselves to soften. To allow ourselves to melt down. And once you've completed your 5th round of breath, we'll take our hands to the outer edges of our legs and we'll gently draw them back up into center as the soles of the feet reground. From here, we're going to make our way in towards a little waterfall. So if you want to swing your legs up towards the wall, you're more than welcome, especially if you have one nearby. If you don't, bump one block off to the side. And then from here, we're going to use one of our blocks. So keep your feet grounded down towards the mat, press down to lift the hips up and slide that block on the lowest setting underneath your sacrum or that flat bony part just above your glutes. Now from here, you could stay in constructive rest. But if you'd like a little more, lift up your feet, hug your knees in towards you, and then move the heels up high to the sky. So we make our way into waterfall here. Giving our hard working legs and hips a well-deserved rest and break as we allow ourselves to sink in, to stay, to feel the rush of the blood from the toes back down towards the heart instead of the heart to the toes. Leaning into the support of gravity, allowing your hips to melt down a little bit more towards the block. A few deep breaths here. If you'd like to, you can find little circles here with the ankles. That can always feel really nice. Circling out through the joint. You have another 3 deep breaths wherever you are. And then when you're ready, bring the knees back close in towards you. Reground down through the soles of the feet. Push down through the feet to lift the hips and sneak your bolster out from your block from underneath you. Allow the hips to land and just give yourself a couple of breaths here just to be. And then if you'd like to move in towards a Shavasana, you are more than welcome just to allow the legs to go long and to settle yourself in. If you want to move on with the rest of your day, or if you want that Shavasana, pause here. And then when you're ready to move on with the rest of your day, give yourself one more deep breath in. And a last sigh out. Let it go. Pick up the feet, draw the knees up and close in. Roll to your side or find a cross of your ankles to roll yourself back up to your seat. Once you're in your seat, as always, we close with a moment of gratitude. So take your hands in towards your lap or maybe hands to heart. And from here, we give ourselves that moment with eyes closed or gaze soft to the ground to find gratitude today to ourselves for showing up to our mats and for being here, for looking after our minds, our bodies, and our hearts, for creating that time to make connection back to self. And from here, thank you so much for joining me today. As always, it is my honor and it is my pleasure to guide you through wherever you are in the world. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all the things if you enjoyed this class. Otherwise, have a beautiful, beautiful day, and I will see you back on your mat soon. Thanks, everybody.